Today we are in Plymouth, Michigan. We're in front of this beautiful Colonial at $485,000. We want to give you a tour of this beautiful house, as well as show you a little bit more about Plymouth Township, the surrounding communities, and we're going to do all of that starting right now. So you're thinking about moving to Plymouth, Michigan, or maybe you're just interested in potentially moving to Michigan and Plymouth may be an option for you. Well, then this video is for you. Like I said, we're gonna give a tour of this beautiful Colonial behind me. But before we get into that, we wanted to dive a little bit deeper about Plymouth, Michigan. Where is it? What's the benefits of it? What's the idea here? So Plymouth is a suburb of Detroit. It sits about 25 minutes west of Detroit and about 25 minutes from Ann Arbor. So this city actually sits directly between Ann Arbor and Detroit, which is a huge benefit for a lot of people. You're about 25 minutes to the airport and you're right on the 275 corridor, meaning you can go north and south on 275 and get on all the local expressways to the city, north, south, what have you. So Plymouth is a very, very central location. And because of that, it's a very sought out location for a lot of people. This particular property actually has the benefits of both worlds with the Plymouth Township as well as Plymouth City. What do I mean by that? Well, the city of Plymouth is cool downtown area, lots of shopping, lots of cool restaurants, bars, all that stuff happening, very walkable. And the township is the surrounding communities around the city itself and can get very rural pretty quick. So the beauty of a city like Plymouth is you get the downtown living, you get that vibe, you can live right in the thick of it if you want, or you can be out in the township and be only 10, 15 minutes drive to downtown, but still have a little bit more space. And this particular subdivision is Trailwood and sits exactly sort of in between. So you're still walking distance to downtown Plymouth. It's probably only about a 10, 15 minute walk, less than a mile walk away, but you're in the township itself. So you get a spread out subdivision, you get all the amenities of the township and the city, and you still stay with township taxes, which are always a little bit less than the city. That's prevalent in true most Southeast Michigan communities here. So you always have the city, a lot of times you're gonna have a township, sometimes there's just a township, but for the most part, when you have the city and the township taxes are gonna be a little bit more affordable than the city, so you get a little more bang for your buck in the township. And so when you have a property like this or a subdivision like Trailwood, we'll give you a tour of the sub as we're talking here. The benefits is you're walking distance to downtown Plymouth, you get all that great stuff that the city has to offer, and you're still in the township, so you pay township taxes, and you get some of the amenities of the township as well too. There's lots of local parks. Both the middle school and elementary school are walking distance from here, as well as the high school, which is walking distance the other direction. So you're less than a mile to the high school. You're only about 3 blocks to the local elementary and middle school in this subdivision, which is why Trailwood is such a sought out subdivision for so many great reasons. So that gives you the rundown of Plymouth, a little bit of the location, a little bit about the township, this subdivision itself. Stay tuned for the end of the video because we want to give you, like I said, a tour of the subdivision, show you the local elementary school and middle school, and a little bit more of the surrounding community so you can understand if this is a good community for you. But before we do that, let's go ahead and check out this house behind me. Like I said, we are pricing it. Our team is listing this at $485,000. We go live tomorrow for showing. So if you're seeing this video, make sure you tune in quick if you're thinking about purchasing this house. If not, and you're just thinking about moving to the area, let us know. We're happy to connect. Let's go ahead and jump inside. Okay, so we're inside, obviously, goes without saying. This home is what we refer to as a Colonial here in Michigan. So all the bedrooms are upstairs and all the living space is downstairs. This home was actually built in the mid to late 70s, 1977, as well as most of the rest of the subdivision. There's some parts of the sub that are a little bit newer than that, but for the most part, this subdivision was built in the 70s, okay? So the location, like I said, is fantastic. We talked about that out front, but the build itself gives you a pretty good representation of a lot of the homes built in the 70s and 80s as far as sort of the layout of Colonials in the area. Like I said, this home is priced at $485,000. I project that it sells actually above that. We're getting a lot of interest. We have over 100 showings set up over the next couple days here. So very, very hot listing that we have here. But that being said, at that $485,000, you're at about 2,500 square feet, give or take. And like I said, built in the 70s. So this is a good representation of that type of house. You walk in, main foyer here, lead right into the staircase upstairs. And if Nick follows me to the left here, this is a pretty standard setup here in Michigan. So for those of you who are moving in different parts of the country, this could be a little bit different layout. There is a basement in this house, it's unfinished. We could potentially jump down there in a minute, but this layout is super, super standard in a lot of these houses around that 2,500 square feet Colonial, okay? So formal living up front here. We did recently help the seller move out. There's actually a estate sale happening here to still get rid of some of their belongings and stuff like that that are still left over. They've been here for a very long time. And we helped them actually renovate this house a little bit to prep for the listing. We did some paint, some carpet, some stuff like that. So this main, although it's not staged, this main living area is just that. It's more of a formal living. So you walk in, you typically keep this a more formal area, lots of natural light. If guests are visiting, you can sit them down up front, have your tea, coffee, drink, what have you, and keep that formal living. And what the idea is you typically flow over into the formal dining. So this is off the kitchen, and this would be your formal dining. Obviously, they're still kind of selling some of the stuff in the house, so we're halfway staged, mostly vacant, somewhat staged here in this particular house, but this type of flow through is pretty standard in a lot of these houses. So these houses are very popular locally. This price point, this size, a very, very popular price in the current market, popular size, okay? So to get that 2,500 square feet, you're not like 1,800 or 1,500 like a lot of the smaller, ranches and smaller homes locally, but you're not into that 3,000 square feet, which is gonna take you, 550, 650 and up real fast. It keeps you in that sub 500 range or around 500 range. And that gives you that 2,500 square feet. So formal dining, like I said, they have some wainscoting on the walls and a little bit more formal feel, and it rolls right into the kitchen here. Through the years, the seller updated the floor, so it's a Brazilian floor, that more red looking floor. Nice open floor plan. At one point, this was opened up a little bit as well too. Newer cabinetry, and they actually swapped out the countertops for the listing. Brand new countertops in here. It's a quartz countertops, and I think it matches very, very well. We'll get into the backyard in a minute. It's a super unique feature with this property. The yard itself sits on a 1/4 acre, and it's very wooded. It's all common space. It's been like this since the subdivision was built. So this is a very, very rare feature, which is one of the reasons why so many people are going to be attracted to this property. A lot of people love that. I mean, it feels just like being up north when you walk in this property. You have tons of space, tons of trees. I mean, bird watching. There's been deer here when I've been here multiple times. I mean, it truly has that up north feel. But like I said, you're in Plymouth Township, walking distance downtown Plymouth. So you can walk to bars and restaurants, all that good stuff from here. Walk your dog up the street, walk the kids, whatever. But still have that very, very picturesque up north feel in a property like this. So, like I said, you kind of walk through the formal living space, walk through the formal dining. We're taking a little bit of a unique route here, but this rolls right into the main living space, great room, whatever you want to call it here. Because this was the original owner, even going back to the 70s, there's some unique features with this particular house that I know about, which is rare in a 1970s build, okay? There's a bump out here, give them a couple extra feet, so it's a little bit different than the rest of the subdivision, but I like the feel of this house. I like the feel of this room. It's a very cozy, homey house, okay? I love the idea of, moving my family in here, cooking dinner, having this, kind of tight-knit living room. It's a little bit different than a lot of the new construction, right? A lot of new construction, big, tall ceilings, open floor plan, which is great and all that stuff. But to me, I like this flow. I like this type of home. It gives a very comfortable, homey feel, and I really, really like this property. A lot of other sellers and buyers also do as well too, which is why it's so sought out in the area. They have a gas fireplace. So I think originally it might have been natural fireplace. Don't quote me on that, but they converted it to gas. Brick obviously keeps that old school vibe from the 70s, which I really, really like. I also like the ceilings in here as well too. The wood trim and stuff like that complements that homey feel in a lot of ways for me. So beautiful house. Moving on to the front here. Again, this is another standard sort of layout in a lot of ways. There's some uniqueness, but there's some standardness here. So when you walk through the front door, that's where we came in originally. There is a study / office. A lot of people in today's world are going to be using this as a home office, obviously. Everyone's still working from home. And we can technically count this as a bedroom if we'd like, okay? We do have a closet here, window. You can count this as a first floor bedroom if you'd like, but it's really an office or study. Love the built-ins. I'm sure this is original stuff. So that's a cool setup as well too. The half bath is directly to my right. This is going to be a standard feature in these types of colonials as well too. So half bath here. And then the laundry room has this long hallway. And I love that you're able to kind of close off this door and have this mudroom / laundry room. Again, this is a feature that I really enjoy, and I think it's very practical. This house is very, very practical. Nice 2+ garage in there as well too. They're prepping for an estate sale currently, so they're working on pricing and some stuff like that. But closet space here, broom closet down at the end, some space for folding laundry and all that stuff if Nick wants to roll in here, but very practical. You have the laundry room / mud room. You can dump all your clothes off in here. You can dump all your shoes off in the snow and the mud and all that stuff. If you have kids, leave it in here, shut the door, and your guests aren't privy to it. So I like that flow. We'll take you on the full circle. This takes you in the basement as well too, but we'll take you on the full circle back to the front foyer. So again, you get that kind of circle flow. And a lot of people, I think if you're entertaining, they actually take their guests through that. Not everyone, but a lot of times you might come in, you sit down, you have a more formal sitting area to talk and chat, you roll into dinner, eventually maybe after dinner you get more cozy in the living room, right? And eventually you find your way out. So I think that circular feel sort of makes sense for entertaining. But again, a lot of the modern houses, we love selling a lot of the new construction. We do tons of new construction. We sell 20, 30 new construction homes every year plus. But that being said, this type of house is a homey feel. It's a great price point, under 500,000 in Plymouth. This is a steal in my opinion for a lot of reasons. Go ahead and show you upstairs. So we've updated the carpet and the paint to bring it a little bit more modern feel. There's 4 bedrooms up, and one good feature about this house, which you don't always get out of this type of Colonial, is 2 full bathrooms upstairs. So we'll show you that, which is a great feature in my opinion. Good sized bedroom, good sized closet over here. This is right off to the right of the top of the stairs. You have your linen closet to the right here. Sliding by Nick, this bedroom's a little bit tight, but again, still decent sized bedroom. I think it works for a lot of families. Beautiful view off the back. I mean, this we'll take you back there. There's a stream that runs through the backyard. I mean, it is truly like being up north. And like I said, being so close to downtown Plymouth, that's the definition of Trailwood. So Trailwood is a super sought out subdivision. A lot of people locally here love this subdivision. They live in this subdivision. They focus on the subdivision. It's a pretty good sized sub. There's a couple hundred houses throughout the subdivision of Trailwood. But again, to me, this is one of the key features, and not everyone has that here in Trailwood. It's a beautiful view. Walking down the hallway, so if you're not from the Midwest, maybe you have this, maybe you don't, and if you haven't been in a 1960s, 70s house, but this is a feature that a lot of these homes have, and this is a whole house fan. So I'm actually scared to test it. It probably does work. It actually says Sears. That's so funny. Sears back in the day. So the whole house fan gives you circulation throughout the whole house. So something you saw a lot in the 60s and 70s for a long time and still stands true. I'm always scared to test them because a lot of people actually block them off for insulation. They don't use them as much anymore. So a lot of times people do block them off. That looks like it works. I'm gonna ask the seller, but I'm not gonna test it in front of you here. And so moving on, this is the shared bathroom. They did update the vanity at one point, but the original shower and tile is still here. I think it looks okay. I like the addition that they did as well too, some of the woodwork to kind of update this bathroom. They had some recessed lighting, some trim up top, but again, original tile as far as the floors and the tub as well too. This is your 3rd bedroom. This bedroom's huge. This is gonna be the biggest out of the secondary bedrooms. Good sized closet as well too. Huge window. Literally, Nick, see if you can see this. I mean, come on guys. That's truly that's Michigan right there. There's a stream that goes through. I mean, you could literally sit here and draw that and it would be like, wow, you're up north. What a vibe. As you can see, I don't know if you can see the trail back there. So they actually had a koi pond and they had the trail to walk through. Beautiful garden they took care of for a very, very long time. Good sized bedroom here. And then last but not least, on the 2nd floor is going to be a primary suite. And again, for the age of this home, again, 2,500 square feet. It's nice because this age home in the 70s, for the most part, there's not a 2-story foyer or great room, so there's a good amount of square footage on the 2nd floor. It makes the first floor, like I said, a little bit more homey, a little bit more comfortable. There's not a 2-story foyer or really tall great room, a little bit more square footage up here. But this is a good size primary bedroom, or back then they call it master suite, right? But primary bedroom for this type of house. Walk-in closet, they have the built-ins at some point that they did, his and her on both sides or what have you. You have your partner on each side, plenty of room in that closet. And then again, an add-on or a nice feature for a 60s or 70s Colonial is, for the most part back in the day, a lot of these houses you share 1 full bathroom upstairs. So you have 4 full bedrooms and 2 full baths, which is beautiful for a lot of families. It could be for a growing family, it could be a starter home, it could be for a bigger family, because you get that 2nd full bathroom on the 2nd floor for under 500 grand, like I was saying here. So just a shower, no tub in here. Everything you need though, in my opinion, for mom and dad or what have you. Good vanity setup here, fresh paint throughout. The windows are all in good shape, all that good stuff. So if I was walking a buyer through, that's some of the stuff I'd be looking at. They updated the windows at some point, vinyl windows, fairly new, lots of paint updates. So you have a very updated formal feel. It smells good in here. That's something that a lot of people don't consider when they see listing videos or photos. Walking into a home with a fresh coat of paint, fresh carpet really helps it smell better. I don't think we're gonna tour the basement of this house. It's unfinished, so there's not much to see there. However, if you are moving from out of state, which a lot of our buyers on this channel are. Most of the calls that we get are people moving from places like Tennessee and California and Texas and stuff like that. So a lot of those people that are moving here, they like the idea of a basement. There's a big basement downstairs, tons of storage. It does stay dry, it's in good shape. So you can also formally finish that as well too. Let's say you estimated 1,000 to 1,200 square feet. Well, above grade, which is the first floor and the second floor, the true square footage of the house. For those of you who don't know, you don't count basement square footage as square footage of the house. The true square footage is 2,500 roughly up. That's the first floor and the second floor that we're on. And if you were to formally finish that basement as well too, you're probably somewhere between 1,000 and 1,200 square feet roughly, maybe 800. So that really takes you, 3,300, 3,500 square feet plus of finished square footage when it's all said and done. Above grade is the only square footage that counts towards a house, but you have finished square footage in that basement. So you can take a really nice 2,500 square foot house, make it, over 3,000 square feet. The house is gonna feel big on that great lot. So again, stay to the end of the video. We wanna show you a little bit of the community, a little bit about the subdivision, so you can learn more about Plymouth, especially for your out of town buyers, as well as this beautiful backyard, which is up next. So I just got a chance to talk to the neighbor next door. I think his name was Harry. He's been here just as long as this owner, since the 70s. Harry was walking a few doors down to play poker and to play a little pool at the neighbor's house. He's been here for almost 40 years, right? One thing I can promise, if you're moving from across the country, yes, we have winters here. Yes, it is cold here. Yes, sometimes you get gray days like today, but I promise you, there's no people like Midwest people. I promise you, the nicest people in the world. Okay, backyard. I wanna show you this. Pretty cool. It's like follow the yellow brick road. It's dormant right now, obviously, but for a lot of years, our seller really did a good job gardening and taking care of this. And it's kind of like, isn't there like a movie or a book like My Secret Garden or something? Is that a thing? My sister, I think, used to talk about something like that. Don't quote me on that, but that's what it feels like back here. It feels like almost like surreal. It's like, I don't even know how to explain it. This garden's beautiful. They had the koi pond at one point. There's paths throughout. Needs a little bit of TLC. We've done some prep to kind of prepare it, but I really hope that the future owner takes pride in this and really continues to evolve this beautiful garden. We got some drone footage of it, which is pretty cool, but that backyard is a huge selling feature. It's a rare feature, but it also isn't impossible in Southeast Michigan. So if you're moving from out of town, especially if you don't need to be, right in the thick of a downtown area, there's a lot of townships, there's a lot of different rural areas. Once you get, 45 minutes, 30, 45 minutes plus from a city like Detroit, or a little bit of the outskirts of Ann Arbor, or you get in that Rochester area or past that, just depending where you're looking, there can be a lot of properties that have this up north feel, as I call it. What I mean by up north is you feel like you're in the up north Michigan. You feel like you're at like a cottage or a lake house, right? And it's very, very private, tons of nature and all that stuff. So it's a huge selling feature, big benefit to me of living in Michigan, living in Southeast Michigan. And it's absolutely gorgeous back here. The seller did a great job with it. So stay tuned for the next feature. I want to show you a little bit of the subdivision. We're going to show you some of the schools that you can walk to, a little bit about the vibe of what it's like living here in Plymouth. Dude, that squirrel just jumped like 12 feet. All right, guys, so for those of you that follow my channel, you may or may not know, my office is in Plymouth. My team covers all Southeast Michigan. We cover a huge area. I live in downtown Detroit, but I grew up in Plymouth. So Trailwood actually backs up the subdivision we're just in to West Middle School, which happens to be the middle school I went to, and across the street is Bird Elementary. So the reason for the story is twofold. One is it's a huge benefit of living in a subdivision like Trailwood, living in a town like Plymouth. You can literally walk to your elementary school, walk to your middle school. There's a preschool next door that you can choose to go to if you want, send your kids there. A lot of my friends back in the day went to Red Bell Preschool, but I was laughing with Nick because I was thinking, I was like, if in the mid 90s, you told me that we would be shooting a video for a thing called YouTube in front of my own middle school, and I sold real estate, and I happened to be making videos in my hometown, I would have told you you're crazy. That being said, as far as Southeast Michigan goes, as far as Plymouth, Canton, you go over to Rochester, Woodward Corridor, downtown Detroit, I sold copy machines here for a long time. I've sold real estate here for a long time. Nobody knows this community better, okay? Nobody knows it. And if you would have told me that in middle school, I would have laughed your head off. Like, there's no chance I'm gonna be a real estate agent selling real estate in my hometown. Anyway, here we are, West Middle School, Bird Elementary across the street. This is the vibe, okay? Across the street here, we literally are 3 blocks from the house we just walked through at 485. Across the street is the city of Plymouth. Taxes go way up. It's beautiful though. There's a reason for that. That's where our office happens to be and stuff like that. But you can walk to bars, restaurants, tons of shopping, all that good stuff right there. So we make tons of content of Plymouth. Check out our other videos to see downtown Plymouth. But again, this is the value of the Midwest. This is the value of small town living. You're also 25 minutes to downtown Detroit if you want all that good stuff. You're 25 minutes to Ann Arbor. Plymouth's a great town for that. Trailwood's a great opportunity. Sub 500,000 in a 2024 market. It is a great buy. Thanks for taking the tour of our video. What a great seller. Just a beautiful family we got to meet. We're very, very excited for the opportunity to sell that house. It's a great sample set of 2,500 square feet around that $500,000 price point, just south of 500,000 in Plymouth, Michigan. But again, there's a lot of communities like this. So you might not be, shooting for Plymouth. Maybe you're looking more in Royal Oak, or maybe you're looking more in Rochester. Maybe you're looking more in Troy. We work those areas very, very heavily as well too. We can find similar buys throughout all the different communities here as well too. So my name is Matt Talbot. This is a Living in Detroit channel. My team is the Talbot team. We help people just like you every single day move here to Michigan, and we absolutely live for it. Thanks for checking out our listing. Thanks for checking out our channel. Stay tuned for more great content.